Hello everyone, welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast. In this podcast, it's all about anime, manga, talking about your favourite series, your favourite characters, in-depth look at series, the history of manga, the history of anime, the industry as a whole, and everything in between. If it's to do with anime, if it's to do with manga, I'll be talking about it at some point in this show. In last week's normal episode of Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, it was all about Thriller Bark at One Piece. And that kind of followed on from the last episode in that kind of mini-series I kind of started doing, which was about Water 7 and Enies Lobby. It's kind of following the journey with me as I watch One Piece and go through the different arcs. And last week was Thriller Bark. So in that episode you'll find out facts about Thriller Bark, the kind of events that happened, some of the foreshadowing, and why this arc is a great one that shouldn't be skipped. And that's a theme that kind of flows through with One Piece, the kind of theme of skipping arcs to kind of catch up as quickly as you can. But this one was a great one and definitely one that you shouldn't skip, and you can find out why in that episode. Where you found this one, you'll find that one, so be sure to check it out. And a few things before we dive into today's episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, check out the Apple exclusive weekly anime and manga news podcast series I do as well. It's called Chibi Piece Exclusive, and new episodes release every Sunday. And in that series, I discuss the top 5 news stories for anime and manga for the past week, the past 7 days. There's also some mini highlights and also a weekly anime recommendation for you to check out. Over on Apple Podcasts, there's a 7-day free trial, so you get a week free of the series before you have to start paying. And it's only a couple of dollars every month for the series as well. You can pay monthly or yearly, so be sure to check that out if you want to stay ahead of the industry news or the anime and manga news that we all love. If you're super into anime and love showcasing that love inside your home, then be sure to check out my eBay store, Chibi Weeb Anime. Over there you'll find a bunch of hand-illustrated prints of your favourite anime characters in chibi form. There is a worldwide delivery and fast dispatch, with orders being posted out the next working day or even the same day if the order is placed before 4 PM GMT time. So there's prints on Sailor Moon, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and a whole bunch more, with the One Piece range coming very soon. You'll find the shop link in the show notes. And as always, remember to leave a rating and a review for the show, for the podcast. It really does support the show in ways you can't imagine, and it costs nothing and it's super quick to do. Thank you so much. So let's dive into today's episode, all about Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. So this episode is all about Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, or Zombie 100, 100 things I want to do before I become a zombie. It's kind of known with both those titles. And it's a manga and an anime series, and the manga series started way back. We'll discuss that in a little bit. But the anime series recently started, and it's only 2 episodes in, and it started as part of the summer 2023 season in July. And at the moment it's stated for 12 episodes, but currently we're only 2 episodes in, with the next one coming out on Sunday. So we're super fresh into the series, but I needed to talk about this anime. I was super excited to kind of start a different kind of anime, and this one was a theme that I never really have dove into before, especially with anime. I have with normal movies, I guess, but nothing with anime. I've never really watched a zombie-focused anime before, and I was really excited to kind of see it. The visuals for this look so different to what I kind of expected it to be, so it kind of ended up being right up my street, funnily enough. But the manga was written by Haro Aso and illustrated by Kotaro Kataka, and Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead started in Shugakukan's Seinen Manga Monthly Sunday Genre X on Monday the 19th of 2018, and has collected its chapters into various tankobon volumes, and the first volume was released in 2019, and as of June 30th of 2023, 14 volumes of the manga have been released so far, with new chapters coming out regularly. So before we dive into why you should watch this anime, let's have a little bit of a recap of the synopsis in case you haven't checked it out just yet and you need to know why you need to be watching it. The synopsis for the anime says, and I quote, "Surviving a zombie apocalypse beats a dead-end job any day. After surviving years of toiling away for a soul-crushing company, Akira's life has lost its luster. But when a zombie apocalypse ravages his town, it gives him the push he needs to live for himself. Now Akira's on a mission to complete all 100 items on his bucket list before he, well, kicks the bucket. 24-year-old Akira Tendo watches a zombie movie in a trash-filled apartment with lifeless, envious eyes, and his spirit is broken after spending 3 hard years at an exploitative corporation in Japan. He can't even muster the courage to confess his feelings to a beautiful co-worker, Hotori. Then one morning he stumbles upon his landlord eating lunch, which happens to be another tenant. The whole city is swarming with zombies, and even though he's running for his life, Akira has never felt more alive. End of quote. So as I've said, there are 2 episodes of this out currently, with the next episode episode 3 releasing on Sunday, this Sunday. But I think this is one of those new generation of anime that everyone needs to take notice of and kind of take a look at. There's such an intense level of detail with the actual animation themselves and the characters, but also the kind of world that surrounds them as well. Like, there's some shots where it shows the dirt inside the grooves of the balcony door tracks, and a lot of anime wouldn't have really bothered putting that in, but it really adds that level of micro detail that the production company has put into these scenes. There's scenes where the computer screens, instead of just looking fairly generic and not really look like anything, they're specifically shown with a dock that resembles the styling and apps on an Apple Mac. And even when one of the characters, I won't spoil anything, but when the characters uses a computer, the apps themselves look exactly like the Apple Mac apps. And it's that level of detail of what kind of computers would these characters use, and what apps would they use, how would they lay them out on the screen. And this is one anime that I think is a perfect example of this next generation of anime that we're starting to see come through now. The seasons are seeming to be smaller in this new generation of anime, and they're kind of around 12 to 15, maybe 19 episodes long, but they're traditionally seem to be 12 to 15 episodes, but the quality is just next level. There's a kind of cinematic styling, especially in this anime, specifically this anime. There's a specific cinematic styling of Zom 100 on every frame. There's like a blur on areas of the background, even areas of the character where they don't really want you to be focusing on that bit. They need you to be focusing on her eyes or his beer cans or whatever. There seems to be like a deep shadow, and it's that cinematic direction that makes it so enticing and so amazing to watch. And especially in the first episode, there's some insanely amazing transitions between the scenes, but where Akira jumps or throws his hands up and things happen. It's so detailed and so well crafted, and I can't sing its praises enough. It's this level of anime and direction and detail that makes a 24-minute episode feel like 5 minutes. And in episode 2, I was prepared to kind of have the 4 or 5 minute recap that we sometimes get in other anime. One Piece it is unfortunately notorious for that, and they end up being about a 15-minute episode, but instead this was about 22 minutes of a 24-minute episode. It's wastes no time getting straight back into the story, and with it being a zombie anime, you kind of expect it to be super gory, super bloody, and there are moments of that. There's definitely that kind of theme, but instead this anime makes it much more colourful and vibrant, which is a very weird but refreshing, fun contrast to kind of have, and it keeps you watching, weirdly enough. Seeing zombies splattered with red, blue, pink dye, almost, but you know it's blood, your mind knows what it is, but instead it's reading it as almost paint. It makes it super fun, and it makes the whole world much more colourful in a apocalypse that should be super scary and super dark. And I feel like these darker themes for the new generation of anime seem to be the norm, and I don't know if it's just me that's picking up on this, but we're seeing more and more new age anime, I guess, being more gory and darker. We see a lot more blood, and we see a lot more focus on the blood or the kind of violence that goes on. Shows like Hell's Paradise are a great example of this, or Chainsaw Man. Yes, they were both done by a mapper, and I have to say, an amazing studio, and they output such incredible anime. but it still carries that same theme. And this isn't to say that we're going to see stories such as reincarnated as a vending machine, a fun kind of isekai that they are, not being made. And it's not that we're not going to start seeing the kind of less anime that are light-hearted stories being created, but I feel a theme is kind of starting to come through with this new generation of anime, and that the series that are being made that are getting the most hype, that are getting the most attention, are a darker storyline, and they are slightly more focused on the older generation of, I guess, my generation. I'm 28 at the minute, and it's kind of, no, I'm not, I'm 29 at the minute. Oh, but it's kind of that kind of my generation that's starting to see these new generation of anime come through and be darker. And don't get me wrong, I love a darker storyline. I lap up anything horror, anything not gory. I'm not a massive fan of gore, especially not in horror films, but I will in an anime, weirdly enough. I guess it's because I know it's not actually real. I can't watch a gory horror film, but I love a darker storyline. So things like Zom 100, Hell's Paradise, Chainsaw Man, that have that kind of theme to them, I'm all over. I cannot get enough of them. And I think it's an exciting time for this new generation of anime to kind of have this different theme and different formats and different focus, and especially such a big focus on the quality of animation, the quality of the artwork, the quality of the transitions, the story. There's so much of a renewed focus on that, and I think we're on the cusp almost of seeing a complete transformation of the anime industry and how anime is produced, and the expectation of anime is now different. We only have to look at how Demon Slayer and their production has completely transformed the expectation of anime fans like myself. I expect when I watch a Demon Slayer episode for the episode to be absolutely breathtaking to look at and experience. And they've set the bar really high. So anime that are new, like Zom 100, have a pretty high bar to kind of hit. But this anime adaptation that only started in July isn't the only plans for the Zom 100 series, which I was fairly surprised of. But there's a live adaptation that will be released in August 2023 by Netflix. And on June 7th, 2022, during the Geekend Week livestream, Netflix announced a live film adaptation of the Zom 100 kind of series. And Yusuke Ishida is directing the film based on a screenplay by Tasuka Mishima, and Akira Mori is serving as producer in collaboration with Robot and Plus One Entertainment. And the film is set to premiere on August 3rd, 2023, and the theme song is Horizon, performed by Ren. So we've got quite a lot of the detail kind of known. It's going to be a film, and I find it's interesting. It's interesting that the live adaptation of this, the film of it, will take place so closely to only having the anime released 2 weeks ago. And there seems to be a kind of theme again for Netflix. They're obviously doing the One Piece adaptation that's been all over the kind of news outlets. And Netflix wouldn't touch an anime adaptation without them knowing that it's going to be a success. And they've got a fairly poor reputation when it comes to anime adaptations, and that's fairly well known, but you have to kind of take that with a pinch of salt, I guess. And I don't think Netflix would risk it if they didn't see something or some potential in the Zom 100 series. But I do think it will be interesting. I don't think I'd like to watch it until the anime is finished, if I'm honest. I would prefer to stick with the anime week by week, every Sunday, and kind of wait until after that's finished airing before I watch the movie. I'm unsure at the moment what the actual movie will cover. I don't know if it's just a movie version of the anime season 1, or how it's going to kind of develop, or whether it's an add-on to the main story, that kind of thing. However, I don't think I want to watch the film until I finish the anime, and maybe you're different, that's fine, but I think I'd like to stick to the core story for now, and maybe think about watching the film afterwards. But I think it is exciting that Netflix are putting so much energy behind these anime adaptations and so much energy into building their anime library, and we see Disney doing the same and building their anime library as well. There's this shift, I think, that's happening at the minute where we start to see anime really become even more of a powerhouse, and so much of pop culture now is referencing anime or is taking inspiration from anime or buying licenses to just stream popular anime series on their platforms in order to get this absolutely growing massive fan base of anime manga fans, weebs, otakus, whatever you want to call us, on their platforms. I think that is an interesting and exciting kind of place to be. Growing up and seeing anime be first brought over and kind of it's seen as like the weird thing, for it to now be something that people are just known for liking, and it just be the powerhouse that it is. I can't find the right words, which is awkward for a podcast, isn't it? But it's super exciting to be an anime fan at the minute, and I hope you guys feel the same. If you're the same age as me, around 28, 29, then I think you would have seen it as well, the growth of anime over the years and growth in popularity. We only have to look at Funko Pops and how kind of organizations such as them have helped to kind of grow thanks to anime and the popularity of collecting the merchandise and all that kind of stuff. There's so much going on for us at the minute that we are eating so well as anime fans, and Zom 100 seems to just be another cherry on the cake for us. Maybe you're not into zombies, maybe you're not into kind of those kind of storylines. I think you should be checking out this anime. I think there's something special about this one, and yes, that's very cheesy to say, but I think there's something pivotal with this anime and this kind of next generation of anime. And it seems to be less about the zombies than it does to be the story of Akira breaking free from work and finally being able to do the things that he's wanted to do with his life or in his life. And some of these things are super normal and mundane, like clean the apartment, and that is something that sits on all of our to-do lists, but it's on his bucket list before he becomes a zombie. And it's fun to watch, it's fun to experience. Going to the shop and getting beer was his main priority, and that's fun to see because why not? Absolutely, go get yourself a shy looking beer can and drink it. Go nuts, why not? It's super, super fun, and you'll be hooked from like second 2 of the anime. It's so compelling to watch, and it's so exciting, it's so intense, it's so detailed, and you'll spot things different times. I find myself wanting to watch the first 2 episodes again because I know I'll spot different details, or I know I'll spot different things in the background, or I'll experience it maybe slightly differently because I spot them. It's so interesting, it's so detailed, and I cannot wait to see where the story goes. I haven't read the manga, but this is one of the anime that has skyrocketed to the top of my watch list every single week, and you definitely will regret not checking out this anime. I think this will be one of the biggest anime for 2023 and 2024 going forward. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for checking this out. I really do appreciate every single listen, every follow, every download. It really does mean a lot. From one week to another, thank you so much. If you're wanting any anime merch, head over to my social media links. Find me on social media, find me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And you'll see a link to my eBay shop where I have a bunch of anime themed prints for you to check out with worldwide shipping. Please do leave a rating and a review on the podcast platform that you're listening on this to. It really does support the show. It only takes a few seconds and it's free. I cannot ask. If I ask one thing of you, I'd ask that. Please do leave a rating and a review. Even if it's not great, please let me know. It's even a bad one. Well, bad press is always... what's the saying? Any press is good press, I guess. Oh, that rhymed. So a rating and a review would be great. It really does support the show, so thank you so much for whatever kind of review you do leave. If you're a mega fan of anime, then why not check out my brand new Patreon monthly subscription club. There are 3 tiers of membership: Chibi Fan, Chibi Super Fan and Chibi Mega Fan, with each tier being better than the last. Each month, for one cost, you'll receive free prints, free downloads, and much more, including exclusive behind the scenes videos, photos, and more of how I create my prints and anime themed artwork. If you'd like to receive exclusive updates and anime themed goodies every single month delivered straight to you, then why not check out my Patreon? The link's down below. I'm sure you'll love being a part of the Chibi Weeb fan club. Sometimes finding a birthday card or an occasion card can be a boring task. However, I have some anime themed cards on my Thortful.co.uk creator profile, which is found in my links on social media. Over on Thortful, you'll find a bunch of anime themed cards such as Studio Ghibli happy birthday cards and more, with my range being updated regularly. Each card is processed by Thortful.co.uk, with shipping being fast, quick and efficient. You can shop my anime themed cards over on my Instagram, with my links being over on there. Just search Chibi Weeb Anime and you'll find me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. It really does mean a lot. Please do leave a rating and a review down below. It really does support the show and it's free to do. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. If you're a subscriber or if you're thinking of subscribing or starting the free trial on Apple Podcasts, I'll see you on Sunday for the next episode of the Chibi Piece exclusive Apple Podcast exclusive episode on Sunday. Thanks guys. Bye bye.